Why are they saying that there was no search party up there? Could not have been a search party, rather. Let's just come back to those words, because there is a point being made here.
What was what? With hindsight, we realised that a search party couldn't have got there, located it and got there in the time it had taken us to go from the village up to the mounting.
Yeah.
So that's your sort of decision, based upon ignorance. Because on the night, before you and your mother actually got to where you got on the A4, was it 90? On that top road, a search party had already been dispatched. The police were already out. And after the police gave up their search, in fact, it wasn't really a search, it was just a going forward with some torches, just going around, and then when the object apparently went behind the mountain, the chief officer said, "Oh, let's bugger off." And so they came back down this pigging mountain, not got anywhere close to the mountain where the light was. You see, with mountains, you think sometimes, particularly in Wales, when you approach a mountain, you think, well, oh, if I walk up this mountain, I'm going to get to the top in such and such. And as you're walking up the Pigging Mountain there, you find, hang on a minute, this thing levels out. So it's higher than you actually expect it to be when you're standing at the bottom, because you don't see the, it's like a piece of flat land. And you can climb up again, up the rest of it, and have a bit more pigging flat land. So the object could be further away than you expect it to be if you're standing at the bottom of the Pigging Mountain, because the mountain may go off into the distance. Anyhow, why did they just say that then? Speculation, that's why. Ignorance. The police were up there. Hugh Edwards took them up there in his Land Rover. He was, 14 years of age, I believe, when he took them up across from where this object was glowing. Now they knew it was glowing, they could see it was Pigging glowing, but as soon as it went down back of Pigging Mountain, the chief inspector said, "Oh, let's bugger off." Huh? What do they want? Get home for tea or something? Well, a cup of tea at that time of night, because it's getting on for midnight. Towards midnight, I mean it's 10 towards 12. Because the whole thing was called off around, I believe, 12:30. And the army was the last lot to get in there with the torches, etc.
Located it and got there in the time it had taken us to go from the village up to the mounting.
Yeah.
Why are you so nervous?
No one could have organised themselves to get to the object that we saw.
Since no search party went out that night, nothing was ever found at the scene.
Since no search party went out that night. So basically they are discarding the evidence. I mean, you can go to the likes of Rich Planet, the Berwin cover-up, okay? And find the evidence there, for one. Well, anyway, basically on the internet, just type it into the search engine. And the war forces went out. The police first went out. Hugh Edwards took them pigging up the mountain. Well, a mountain opposite this thing. And there were training exercises, which is not unusual within the Welsh valleys of the army. I mean, flights out of Anglesey, not Anglesey, it's off Anglesey anyhow. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's the left of Anglesey. RAF Vale, They practice within the mountains of Wales, particularly Snowdonia, okay? But that particular time just happens that the army was out around the area of Vale and Flandrillo. I can't say these Welsh words, you know. And this particular area, okay, up from Llangollen. So he's wrong. There were parties out. And, what's more, there were jeeps, personnel carriers, on the streets of Berwin.
Since no search party went out that night, nothing was ever found at the scene. But astronomer Ron Madison has
Nothing was found at the scene because nobody progressed up to the frigging mountain where the object had gone behind it.
proposed that what the villagers saw that night was a meteorite or fireball
Sorry, let's just go back one.
found at the scene. But astronomer Ron Madison has proposed that what the villagers saw that night was a meteorite or fireball, and that it coincided with an earthquake.
So he proposed, he's no evidence for, but he has proposed, therefore the general public, because he's an astronomer, should accept that a proposal, something that cannot be verified, substantiated, is to be treated as fact. No, it's freaking not. It's not fact. It's a proposal. It's an idea. It's something put forward by this man's brain, or a script given to him by whoever's setting this thing up. You can't have eyewitnesses, solid members of the public, saying that it was a pulsating globe, a round sphere, orange and red, sitting there. A piggy meteorite doesn't do that. So out goes the piggy window, this fella, if he's an astronomer. Because we only have the word of the filmmaker that he's an astronomer. We only have the word of the filmmaker that this fella is whom the filmmaker says he is. Sad day when we have to pig question everything and to hold things so lightly that we virtually do not hold them.
At a nearby fault.
Thinking that that explosion might well have been due to an impacting piece of
Who's
rock,
this?
our first reaction was to try to estimate the energy involved.
Really?
And it seemed to us to be something that would correspond to an explosion of the size of about 600 tons of TNT.
Right.
We got letters from as far apart as Penzance and Northern Ireland and Derby, all reporting seeing a bright light, maybe comparable with a half moon in brilliance, moving across the sky at the speed of an aircraft but with no sound, and trailing smoke just like you would expect something on fire to be crashing.
Not according to the eyewitnesses that came forward. What he's saying, and he's not producing, are the eyewitnesses, nor the affidavits of eyewitnesses. And what is intriguing is what he's pigging saying. Let's go back one. Because he's saying that different parts of the country, opposite, hundreds of miles opposite, see the same object. Eh?
Ireland and Derby. All
Hang on. Just go up more.
us to be something that would correspond to an explosion of the size of about 600 tons of TNT.
So he knows that.
We got letters from as far apart as Penzance.
Can you see the letter, please? So you got Penzance down in Wales.
And Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland. Okay, over the water, right.
And Derby.
Derby? Yeah, right, okay. So, that's a big and wild one, isn't it? From Derby. You're part of the bigging country. So when you try to imagine this buggering thing, it must have been absolutely humongous. Huge globe, like the pigging sun, coming across to be at Pigging Derby and Penzance and Northern Ireland. So what about Vale, Llandudno, Shrewsbury, Crewe, Alsager, Stoke-on-Trent, Birmingham? Why not chuck the buggering lot in if he's that frigging big? Eh? So what happened between Derby and Penzance and Northern Ireland that no bugger else saw it, except in Derby, Penzance, Northern Ireland, of which you've no letters? Where's your correspondence? Show us. Huh? Ooh. Don't you believe me? I'm an astronomer.
All reporting seeing a bright light, maybe comparable with a half moon in brilliance, moving across the sky at the speed of an aircraft, but with no sound, and trailing smoke, just like you would expect something on fire to be crashing.
So, these witnesses have seen this that you are describing in the dark. They can see the smoke. I've actually seen meteors, and I've seen them. I've never seen any smoke. Maybe there are meteors with smoke. I've just seen them smokeless, you know, environmentally friendly. They're considering our planet. Okay. I've never seen a meteorite come down to Earth, shape itself round, having densely hit the Earth with an impact of how many pigging tons TNT, and sat there round, pulsating, orange and red. That's an amazing feat.
In the next few days, we were to realise, of course, that the village was not very far from the Vale fort, which is active and has been moving steadily over thousands of years. And unbeknown to us at the time, originally, there had been on that evening a movement on the fort, and that is incontrovertible evidence.
Incontrovertible evidence that there had been something on the fort. Yeah, well, if there's an object comes down with the amount of force that you claim it came down with, what's the problem, matey boy? That then started off the earth tremor. This is supposed to be an educated man. He can't put pigging 2 and 2 together. He can't see by the accounts that this object was solid and round, not a meteor, not a jagged piece of a planet, okay? Come down to Earth. It was solid, it was round, that's a testimony of people, okay? As we say, we can go onto the internet and get the Hugh Lloyds of Wales and hear the testimonies, just like this nurse, district nurse and her children, okay? So that object that was round and pulsating set off, triggered an earthquake. So what? And you've just backed it pigging up, you git. So he doesn't put 2 and 2 together, that an object's hit the ground. The only object to him that has actually hit the ground is a meteorite, which then he's ignored the testimony of the eyewitnesses, gone by what he believes, and has either convinced himself to believe or somebody's told him to begin believe that it's a meteorite. Crazy people.
This was a coincidence.
Really?
There were fireballs in the sky at the same time that there was a triggered movement along the battlefield.
There were fireballs in the sky. Fireballs. Oh, dear me. Steve Zodiac, is it? Oh, Mitch the monkey. Fireballs. There was no reports of bigging fireballs. And the thing that came down wasn't a bigging fireball. So where's he getting it from? Huh? The Sun newspaper? That publishes a load of crap. So there it is. You've got this disinformation here, standing up against an actual event. I'd like to see what they've done, I mean, it must be on the internet somewhere, against Rendlesham Forest. Because the Ministry of Defence tried to debunk that. And to debunk this. So I'd like to see what they've come back with Rendlesham Forest. They didn't like Rendlesham Forest, did they? Oh, they went big in ape. Absolute ape. When a report was leaked, an actual typed out report leaked from an office. I say leaked, the actual either copy or the original came out of the office at Rendlesham that spoke of that night's events and over the 3 nights, okay, all those events, and it got into, I believe it was the News of the World. Somebody can correct me on that. It's just, I believe it was that. And there was hell to play. And they were looking around for who's released this. This shouldn't be released. Because there were facts. Now, whether or not aliens, whether or not advanced machines that we, the general public, do not know about, I've no idea. I know I've seen things that still rather amuse me in the areas of UFOs. Yes. But this event is documented, and the police and the army and the MOD know it took place. What exactly they're covering up, as per usual, we don't know. They tried covering up Rendlesham Forest, but it came out, and once it came out, the stable door was flung open. They couldn't shut it. Too late. It's out. And this is being buggering out. Now they're trying to put this crap up. Absolute crap. Better off on the farmer's pigging field. To try and debunk it. And again, these are the conspiracy theorists. They conspire to deceive by their theories. It's not us, it's these. Though there are those that join with these who say things that are not true, that are theories, like the flat earth. Oh, I don't know what they smoke. I really don't know what they smoke, actually. The flat earthers. Can you understand them? I don't think Bethesda would understand them, you know, the asylum. It take more than pigging doctors to understand that lot. Anyhow. Oh, hey Molly's, what you doing? He's climbing out the pigging window. I'll have to go because Molly's needs a bit of help to fall out, don't you? Bye bye. Oh, lights.